Hello, everybody, in the outside world. um, Look, just giving a bit of an update on what's happening here in Fitzroy, especially in Wanawara. Um, we're all coming out of the lockdown now, and we see and watch TV and see what's going on in the eastern states, and we're seeing things are starting to loosen over there. But I have to say, since the lockdown with COVID-19, that's really turned all of our world upside down. And one of the things that we've all been reflecting on is how we have to work in the future. We can't go back to what was normal because we're now in a new normal, and I think that's going into the future, especially with no vaccinations on the horizon as yet. So we're having to think about the work we do. I haven't been in so many Zoom meetings in my life, or video conferencing or teleconferencing since the lockdown. But from our Women's Resource Centre point of view, being here on the ground and watching our communities, we've also seen some positives out of the COVID-19, especially with our communities being in lockdown themselves, and how we've seen some real stepping up of people in their communities. So one of the things for us now is about how do we build the capacity of those communities so that they can continue the good work that they're doing. But it's also making us reflect on, well, maybe some of our work doesn't have to be centralised, that we can be looking at putting back work into communities as well. And and the other thing is around, Scott Morrison just talked about how to build our economy. So that's giving me some thought that I need to be thinking about, and how do we work with our Indigenous leadership here in Fitzroy about having a conversation in that space as well. Anyway, I've got Sue here. We're both social distancing. We're social distancing with some of the toys that are made in our Marnin studio by our ladies. They've all gone home, but they're continuing to do what they do best out in their communities, but they're also doing art therapy. So they've become teachers back in their own community as well. And some of them haven't gone home for quite some years because they've made town their home, and that was part of the government's plan around closing down Aboriginal communities. And when COVID-19 hit us, well, government said that they were the safest place for people to go. So now that we're kind of loosening those restrictions, I think the government can't just say, oh, well, that's it, everyone's safe. We now have to start talking to government about, well, how do we build the capacity of those communities so people can stay and live and still have their connection to country and the learning that happens out there.
And one really great thing that you probably picked up in the talk is Emily's focus on hope and what's possible. And so we've done lots of really great work while the older women were in communities and they were unable to come in and out of town. We found all these different ways to get materials out to them. So one woman who wasn't very confident when she was making these bush toys has become an absolute expert, and just the beautiful craftsmanship is gorgeous. So we've got women in their communities making bush toys. We've got them teaching others. We've got some families that felt really disconnected, so we've grown some little seedlings and sent out little gardening packs. Another part of the organisation has put together care packs, and care packs are, lots of things from soaps and essentials, toilet paper, to little nurturing packs as well, and self-care packs. So one of the things about Marnin is, even though we've all been stressed and we've all been worried about the outcomes, we're looking at ways to take the opportunity and support as many people as we possibly can. So Emily and I have been talking about a really fabulous supporter who made contact with us recently and provided us with an untied grant, which gave us the capacity to put together these care packs and act pretty quickly and swiftly on a need. So we're aware that everybody's life is turned upside down, and you might be looking at ways that you can assist. So if anyone does have capacity, that we're really needing to have some funds that give us the opportunity to act on some of the great ideas. Emily's been also doing a lot of work advocating with the Minister for the Commonwealth Minister for Indigenous Affairs, as well as the state government, around alcohol restrictions and honouring Aboriginal people living in communities. And that's we're sort of teasing her a bit at the moment, because while other people are falling apart and having a hard time with the stress, Emily's got more and more ideas and becoming quite invigorated by what's possible.
I must say, whilst for Aboriginal people we were all told to stay at home, I did stay at home, but it only lasted 2 days. I had to come back to work. I'm one of them in the vulnerable category, as you all know, that Indigenous people have all of these other underlying health issues. But for me, I felt that I had to be in the office and be around, be seen, and to also be there for the rest of the staff, and to be on the other end of a phone if community people rang and needed some help in some way. But I have to also say, this has really shown us here in Fitzroy the great leadership amongst all our Aboriginal organisations, how they've really stepped up and guided this whole process around making sure our communities were safe. If it wasn't for the Aboriginal organisations, government would have never had a clue as to how to do this, especially when you're immobilising a lot of people to go back into their communities. So, I just want to say everyone worked in a very cohesive way and in a really compassionate way, and I was really happy about that, and how we've made the job for government a lot easier here in Fitzroy.
And we're currently sitting at the Murruloo unit, which is just an old building. It's a tiny building, and we squeeze in a lot of people. At the moment we're physical distancing, so we've got less people in the space, but we actually got a big vision about some really great work that we're doing. And since we met with you in Melbourne, we've won a Ian Potter grant, so we're very excited about some innovative and really important research that we're embarking on. If you are still keen and interested in supporting us, go to our website, have a look and see what we're doing, or make contact with myself, Emily, or Jane Cossa, and we'll carry on the conversation. As you will remember, Emily was talking at the session in Melbourne about long-term partnerships and other people coming on the journey with us. It's not possible at the moment in terms of, physically coming here, but once the borders are open, we'll be open for reinvigorating those relationships and finding ways of working with you as well.
Yes, yeah. We're getting a bit cabin fevered here, so, the more when we're able to travel, we'll come and visit all of you. But in the meantime, just watch this space.
And thank you.
And thank you very much.